Kereva lets you make sure that the code you're running in your organization is written in line with both best practices and within company-specific AI policies. So let's take a look at how this might apply to an open source project. What I've done here is I'm going to run a GitHub search for repos about agents. So imagine you've got a team that's using a bunch of open source code, and these are the top search results for GitHub code that deals with AI agents. So let's take a look at what's in that code. So I'm going to run the scan first of all. There's 9,800 files there, so this will take a second. So let's use the magic of technology to fast forward. We're going to finish up the scan. We'll get a long list of issues that show up. But let's go and take a look in the app. And here we've got different scans that we've run in our available reports. So we'll go into the most recent one here. And it's getting loaded in. We can see all that was detected in there. We can look through by all the different files that were scanned here. Let's take a look through by the types of scan that were executed. So we see there's different types of scans. We've also got our dashboard at the top. And I want to talk about two interesting scans really quickly here today. One of them is this one, the subjective term scan. And so what this is it scans for language and prompts that could lead to lack of precision in the results. Things like best or top or key that aren't defined. So when we ask the LLM to do that, we're just rolling the dice and hoping that whatever its biases and definition of best is what we're going to be happy with. And so that's one scan that we can include here, and we can check for that. So here's an example. Give my best complete answer. Well, what does that mean? Another one, let's take a look here. So this again is asking for ensure all key specific points from human feedback are incorporated. And so again, what is a key point here without definition? That has no meaning. And we can see where that prompt was. And if we've got organizational specific rules like that we want to add, then we can add them. So if we're looking for practices related to hallucination, related to bias, related to other things that we want to ensure all of the prompts that we're running our code with have, we can load those right in. And we can, in this case, if we're using third-party code, we can quickly see where those might be present. Another one I think is interesting here is long list attention, where one thing I've personally seen, LLMs, of course, they've got big context windows, but when you put a long list of things and ask for some assessment of that list, regardless of the fact that it fits in the context window, it can often have varying results depending on the length of the order of the items in that list. Often we see favors things at the top and bottom, for example. And so one check we have is if long or potentially long lists are being incorporated into our prompts. And so again, LLMs may struggle with attention over terms. And so we see cases where potentially long lists are being brought into our code. I went and I looked up earlier just to show an example here where we've got a list comprehension to add something into our prompt, right? And so based on that, it gets called out as potentially a long list. So summing up, we've scanned over 8,000 files appearing in some open source code bases. And so if you're using code like this and you're wondering about the quality or what's going on inside of the LLM calls, you can do a scan like this and you can check for issues. You can also add your own, or we can develop a program for adding organization-specific issues in that we can scan for, so that you can get a dashboard of what's happening there, decide if they're important or not, and come up with resolutions to them so you know what code you're running. For more information, you can visit our website. You can check out the scanner on GitHub, or you can send us an email at hello@kereva.io.